It's halfway March and it has been an extremely busy month so far. I have been working on the aesthetics of my garden, I have been sowing seeds, and I have completed 2 new beds for my potatoes. And I'm gonna show you all of it. Let's go. So as you can see here, the entrance of the garden has been overgrown by grass, especially around the corner trellises, and I wanted to get rid of that, upgrade it a little bit, and I bought some lavender plants to do that. If you've ever tried to get rid of grass, then you might know that it can be quite tedious work. It has a lot of small roots that really hold on to the soil beneath it. But eventually I made it work. I used the hoe to sort of level it all out. It already looks a lot cleaner. Hey there. And now it was time to put the lavender plants into the ground. After that, I put some fresh potting soil around the plants. That gives them, of course, a little bit of extra nutrients to grow, and it also makes the whole entrance look a little bit cleaner. And it's just nice to see that with a little bit of effort, you can upgrade the borders of your garden quite easily. Back at home, spring was really taking off as the mason bees were buzzing all around our insect hotel. And if you look closely, you can see the young bees popping their heads out of the bamboo sticks. So that was fun to see. I was a little bit late with my seed sowing, so I really had to get going. I have some lettuce seeds over here, some Lolo Rossa as well as some iceberg lettuce. I've got some spinach seeds, some rosemary and thyme, as well as some red onions. I've also sown some pea seeds the week before, and as you can see over here, they are popping up out of the plug trays already, but I decided to sow a few more just in case. Over here you can see the spinach seeds. They are pretty large, all things considered. But the next seeds over here are the thyme and rosemary, and they are very small, especially the thyme seeds. Right here are the lettuce seeds. The funny thing is that the iceberg lettuce is the darker one, while the Lolo Rossa is the lighter one. And these little rocks over here are actually the red onion seeds. In a short, I've mentioned that you can save up toilet paper rolls as an alternative to plug trays, and over here I'm going to show you how you can actually utilize them as a proper plug tray. What you do is you cut on all 4 sides, so to speak, and then you fold them in like this. And then you have your own little plug tray that you can fill up with some potting soil. In my case, I wanted to plant some red bell peppers. I could have done that a month earlier, but I didn't, so I do hope that I'm in time for this season, but we'll see. Yeah, let's hope for the best. Next up, I will show you the entire process from start to finish where I create the new grow beds for my potatoes. Now, as you know, my garden has been plagued by the vole many times, so I need to keep them out of the grow beds, and that's why you see me put some hardware cloth underneath the base of the pallet right over here. After that, I put down some thick cardboard layer on top of the spot where I want to place the pallet, and this is mainly to suppress the weed growth underneath the pallet. It also provides the soil with some extra carbon, but it's not really the main purpose of it. After that, I put the first pallet into place and then put the second one right on top of it. And while I was at it, I decided to lay down a new pathway with some fresh wood chips, as you can see me do over here. It looks a lot better after I did this. After that, I filled up the lower part of the grow beds with some fresh wood chips that I had laying around, and this acts mainly as a filler for the grow bed, so I don't have to fill the grow beds all the way up with compost or potting soil. So I finally finished putting some hardware cloth under the second pallet over here, and I put some cardboard on the place where it is right now to suppress the growth of the grass. I also put in a few centimeters of fresh chipped wood. I did that with that one as well. This is not really a solid base for anything to grow on, maybe some fungus. So I'm going to fill it up with some more organic matter. There is a pile of half decomposed sticks and leaves in the neighborhood, and I have been steadily gathering from that pile in order to lay down pathways, but also to fill up grow beds. I want to fill up half of these grow beds with that biomass. I have 2 bags here at the moment, which is not going to be enough, so I'm going to have to revisit the pile quite soon. But at least it's probably going to be a better growing medium for the potatoes to grow on. After that, I'm going to top it off with some potting soil and then bury the potatoes in that and top it off with more potting soil or some hay or straw. Because this is going to be a 2-bed experiment with the same kind of potatoes. Right, so I just filled up the 2 grow beds, 1 bag of the, let's say, semi-compost each. As you can see, it's really dark stuff. And it's been, it's almost impossible to see right now, but it's all this half decomposed leaves and sticks and some mushrooms, especially in that second bed, there were a lot of mushrooms. It filled up the grow beds a lot more than I thought, but I'm going to need at least 1 more bag of about the same volume for each of the grow beds before I'm going to put potting soil and finally the potatoes in there. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with how much they have filled up today, and I'm going to continue it very soon. So this is the pile that I have been taking a lot of material from. It's mostly sticks and dried leaves, just heaped up together, and it has been sitting around here for almost a year now. So it's been like a static compost pile, and as you can see, the outside is still relatively light and fresh, so to speak, but the inside has been decomposing for a while. It's a good dark material. It's not fully decomposed yet, but it's, I'd say, 1/3 to halfway there. And I have been using this material to fill up, for example, my bioreactor and also create the pathways in my garden, which have now been covered with new wood chips. So this will keep decomposing in my new grow beds, as well as enrich them with some fresh nutrients. So it was back to filling up the grow beds again. It was a lot of lifting and carrying, but it was worth it, because this way the filler of the bed doesn't really cost me any extra money except for, of course, the labor. After that, I decided to top off the half decomposed sticks and leaves with some of my own compost. My own compost is not fully decomposed yet. Some bits and pieces are still clearly recognizable, but I'm not too worried about that, because eventually it will keep decomposing in my grow beds and release nutrients to the plants. Alright, this is actually quite heavy. There we go. As a last step, I topped it all off with some fresh potting mix. Finally, it was time to plant my potatoes. I really couldn't wait. Now, I have here these potatoes that I have been chitting for the last few weeks. They are called Annabelle, and I believe they are a determinate variety, one of the earliest that you can plant. And I want to do a little bit of an experiment with these two beds. Most of us have heard of no-dig, but there apparently is also something called no-bury, where you can take a potato and just put it on the soil instead of in the soil and just cover it up with a kind of a mulch. So this is going to be the no-bury bed, and that is going to be the more traditional bed where I'm going to plant the potatoes in the ground. So I just finished both the burying and the non-burying of the potatoes, and now I'm going to mulch the beds. I'm going to mulch both of the beds, even though the non-bury bed needs the most of it, but I think it's always good to mulch your grow beds. So that's what I'm going to do now with the straw and the, well, what is it, the dead grass that I have over here. And yeah, then the bed is ready, and all I need to do is water them in. Okay, so I just finished the beds. This is the bed where I buried my potatoes, and this is the one where I did not bury them. The mulch on this one is also a lot thicker because I didn't bury them. This is at least about, I think, around 10 centimeters of mulch. This mulch is just thinner because the potatoes in here have already been buried about 13 centimeters. So this is just a general layer of mulch, while this is an extra protective layer of mulch. So all I need to do now is water them in, and these are officially done. So as you can see, I have my newly sprouted pea shoots over here. These are one of the first plants that you can actually sow and plant in the new year. And I did so last year, and they were also one of the first that got robbed from me by the vole. So this time, this bed is hopefully vole proof, and I'm going to try it again this year. Fingers crossed. Now the handy thing of these pluck trays is that you can pop out a seedling like this. You can see nicely formed roots, and then plant the entire thing in the grow bed without disturbing the roots too much. Just gonna put it down there for now and continue with the others. I left a little space at the end of this row because the two sprouts in there are just too small to be transplanted at the moment. I am impatient, but I'm not that impatient. And I just accidentally knocked off a leaf from this one, so oh well, hopefully it'll survive. There's still so much more sowing and building to do in the coming weeks, but that will be for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye. Walking through my garden like a baller, getting myself some compost. Yeah, rain down on me. Oh my god, this is heavy. Oh, shouldn't have done that.